Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Clickbait and Coffee. This is Jason. It is Tuesday morning, May 20th, and it's getting ready to piss pour rain again here today. So, hey, can y'all hear me in chat? Anybody in here yet? Yeah, it's Clickbait and Coffee. Guys, I'm tired, and I'm tired of these storms, honestly. We're going to get Friday. We got a hell of a round of it. I was not here for it. I was actually down in Alabama at Jay's place, Prepared Citizen. So we went down there. There was no storms down there until Saturday. But yeah, we got a heck of a round hammering Friday night. My wife was here by herself with our youngest one. And I'm kind of feel bad that it got so bad and I wasn't here. But yeah, so a few things we've got going on. It's going to hammer us today. We've got storms coming in right now, and then it's going to clear up a little bit. And then I think between like 3 and 8 today is going to super hammer us down again. I think Bowling Green is like a 4 out of 5. A 4 out of 5 in the danger zone today. So it seems like it's never ending storms and tornadoes and hail and all kinds of stuff coming through. So, but I'm back in Bowling Green. I guess we'll talk about the Alabama trip. Alabama trip was fun. Morning, Mike. Good morning, Melanie. Yeah, Eastern Central. Hey, Melanie, is anything going to hit y'all today? I know that we're going to get hit later on today, and I'm not looking forward to that again. So, but okay, Friday after I got done with the live here, I got everything packed up, ran my errands, got the oil changed, tires rotated, all that kind of good stuff, and had to do a couple things. So I scooted out 2 o'clock, something like that, to head to Jay's place down in Alabama. It's about a 5-hour drive. So I'm cruising down the interstate. Good morning, our shepherds. Thanks for being here. What's the storms looking like? Our shepherds, are you going to get nailed today like a lot of us are? But so anyway, I'm cruising down the interstate. Kyle is the executive director for Grindstone Ministries. We text back and forth quite a bit, especially when weather's going on. He texted me, and I knew some weather was going to be coming through Bowling Green. He texted me. He was like, "Hey, good morning, Bill." He texted me and was like, "Hey, if you need anything, we've got your back. Just let us know." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And he said, "You need to be watching Ryan Hall." So I knew we were going to have some stuff. I didn't know how bad it was going to be. So I pulled up Ryan Hall on my phone, and I just set it on the dash and was listening to him. And I'm like, great. I'm down here in Alabama. It's going to be coming a hell of a storm and nasty stuff in Bowling Green, and I'm not there. So I'm listening to Ryan Hall. Call my wife. I'm like, hey, you need to watch Ryan Hall. Make sure everything's going to be all right. If you need anything, let me know. I will scoot and turn around and come right back to the house. And she was like, I'll let you know. So I get down to Alabama. I meet Jay. We go to eat at a Mexican restaurant, and literally my phone is lighting up. People texting me. I know Mike texted me. Shelly texted me, and some other people had texted me. And it's like, hey, are you okay? All this. And I'm like, I'm in freaking Alabama. If I knew it was going to get this bad, I probably wouldn't have come down. I'd have postponed it. So anyway, we get done eating and everything, and my wife is texting me back and forth. We had about 3 real bad rounds come through. Everything was fine at the house, nothing destroyed at the house or anything. So I'm like, okay, it was probably like 1 o'clock in the morning. Good morning, Grit and Grace. It was probably like 1 o'clock in the morning when everything finished coming through at my house. And my wife was like, we're going back to bed. I was like, okay, I'll talk to you in the morning. So I finally go to sleep in the hotel. I get up, I don't know, 8 o'clock, something like that, in Alabama. It's raining, coming a flood. So Jay and I are texting, and then we finally call each other. And Jay's like, and I told Jay, I'm like, if it's just a little bit of rain, I was like, let's do this thing. He's like, yeah, for sure. So I said, let's give it a little bit, see what it does. So he calls me back and he's like, man, I'm looking at the weather and it's supposed to come like lightning and thunder and just pouring floods for like the next 2 to 3 hours, something like that. And I'm like, dude, I was like, we came to a mutual decision that we didn't need to be standing out in the field with metal guns in our hands while it was lightning and thundering. So we postponed the gun training class Saturday, and I filled up with fuel, talked to Jay for a few minutes, and I scooted on back to Bowling Green. So that was the Alabama trip. I went down, hung out with Jay Friday night, and we did a live Friday night on his channel. And then essentially we didn't do a gun class out of safety reasons. Jay decided somebody getting struck by lightning at a gun training class was probably not good for business. So I'm a little disappointed I didn't get to do that, but out of lack of safety, we decided not to do that. So, all right, let me see what's going on. Yeah, our shepherds last night had hit us. Yeah, what you got last night's coming this way today, and it started thundering a few minutes before I went live, so it'll probably start thundering again. Maybe you can hear it like Friday. Bill, thunderstorms and rain showers here for the last 45 minutes. Yeah, Bill, what you're getting is coming right up our way, I would say. So that was the Alabama trip. It was fun. It was long driving down there. I hate driving, honestly. Thank you, our shepherds. I'm glad y'all came through pretty good. Hopefully, it's not going to do anything substantial here. Is what I'm hoping. But we'll get into like London and Somerset, Somerset here in just a few minutes. Yeah, Mike Shepard said it's thundering there. But and Mike is west of me, so Mike gets the storms before we do. So, but yeah. All right, festival stuff. If you still need your tickets are going pretty quick. Go to the website, KentuckySustainableLiving.com. Get your tickets. We've got all our first aid supplies are still in stock. I think we've got pretty much everything in stock. I don't think we're out of anything. So everything's ready, in stock. You can get your medical kits, your individual supplies, whatever you want. If there's something that we don't have, let me know and we can get it for you pretty quick. So if there's something on there that you want, let us know and we can get it. We've got access to most anything as far as first aid and medical supplies. Also, the refuge class. They've still got some spots. Refuge is doing a 4-hour training class, 4A medical training class on Friday on Friday of the festival. It's $200, which is less than half of what it would be if you went to Oklahoma. So go to the website at the top. There's a red banner. Click on it, and it will take you right to Refuge Medical's website to sign up for that. So we got all that fun stuff out of the way. Our shepherds, have you been to Somerset? I heard they got hit hard. I have not been to Somerset and London yet. They've got Grindstone. I talked to Kyle last night. Grindstone's got a couple guys doing recon. They're supposed to be coming through today. Personally, my brother is out of town. My brother's out of town until Thursday morning, and me and my brother kind of have a thing. We don't leave town. We try not to get too far away from the house or go out of town with both of us gone. So I'm probably not going to go anywhere until if I go anywhere, it's going to be at least Thursday or Friday before I go anywhere. Excuse me. So we just kind of got a thing. My dad's not in super good health and my mom needs help a lot. So we try not to be gone at the same time. I don't want to put all that burden on my wife having to do something. And especially with the weather and stuff like this, I don't like being gone. Honestly, looking back, hindsight's 2020, of course. I probably should have canceled the Alabama trip and been here, but luckily nothing major happened. So we'll kind of get to what happened at my house and stuff like that. But yes, the weather stuff, Friday night tornadoes did come through Somerset and London, Kentucky. There's pretty stinking significant damages. I've seen a lot of the videos coming out of London. London, there's parts of London that are just absolutely teetotal leveled. I mean, I know last count, I think there was about 20 people that were killed in that storm, which is horrible. I feel so bad for those people and those families, and then the families that have just lost everything. It's just pure, utter destruction. I saw one. I saw one place that it showed like an aerial picture, and you could see a before and an after picture, and you could actually see the swath taken out where it just came through between Somerset and then went into London. It's pretty nasty. Let me see what else I got. Oh yeah, the London Air Vac team, essentially the medical helicopters. In London, the tornado came through the airport, and it leveled pretty much a bunch of the stuff in the airport. The Air Vac hangar where they keep the helicopters got taken out, and one of the helos that was in there got taken out. So they're down in Air Vac. One of the life flight, I call them life flight helicopters. That's what they call them around here. But yeah, one of the life flight helicopters got taken out in that. So being praying for them. I do know if you go and check our Facebook page, there is we put a post up on Facebook of a place that is taking donations in the shelter that's in London. And I'm trying to find out if we can ship stuff over there. So Kyle with Grindstone has been talking and in contact with them. He sent me everything. We got it on Facebook, and he said he was going to check and make sure we could ship stuff over there. So as soon as I know that, we will post an update to whether you can ship stuff. I guess you could probably ship stuff Amazon, do an Amazon delivery, and send it over there to them, and they would be grateful to have all that stuff. And yeah, our shepherds, I'm sure Grindstone will be deployed. Like I said, Kyle's got a recon team headed over there today. I've got those boys' numbers. I'm going to give them a call after the live, see if they need anything. But they will be in Somerset and London today doing recon. Kyle said he was going to go somewhere else and do a little bit of recon. So I'm figuring they'll be in Kentucky Wednesday, Thursday, something like that, with boots on the ground and actually doing some stuff. So, and Bill, I saw that the Y'all Squad has boots on the ground in Kentucky with emergency supplies. Yeah, Bill, Ryan Hall lives over in Pikeville, which I think Pikeville is probably 2 to 2.5 hours away from Somerset and London. And I did notice him talking about that they did have trucks in there with supplies and stuff like that. So, and like I said, if my brother wasn't gone, I would be over there. I'm about an hour and a half to 2 hours away from, I'm about an hour and a half away from Somerset, and then about another 30 minutes to London. So, but as soon as my brother gets back in town, I'm probably going to be doing a few things over there to help out. So we'll just kind of have to see. I talked to William Bond, permaculture consultant. Him and I texted a little bit yesterday. He told me, he's like, hey, if you're going, let me know, and I'll come up and be there with you and everything. So William's probably going to be headed up this way to go help clean up some stuff in Somerset and London. So guys, be praying for those people. It's a horrible situation over there. I know y'all probably seen some of the pictures and stuff like that. I'm praying for those people. It's just a horrible situation. So, all right, as far as weather stuff, and this is mainly going to be this live. We're going to talk about the weather stuff, kind of tell you what happened at my place, and then we're going to go over a couple of lessons learned and some generator stuff. So just be aware of that. I don't have any super good news or any news articles, anything like that. I figured right now everybody would be interested in the weather stuff and stuff like that. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about. Tell me what happened with y'all. If y'all had any damage, what went on with y'all and stuff like that. I would be interested to know what's going on with that. And then, yes, our shepherds, Y'all Squad is legit. They came out and helped after Rolling Fork, Mississippi. Yeah. And Ryan Hall, honestly, two places that I would donate and put time into is the Y'all Squad and Grindstone Ministries, because I know firsthand Grindstone Ministries does legit stuff. I've been out with them twice. Well, actually 3 times. I did recon down in Selmer, Tennessee when that tornado hit. It's not been that long ago. I was one of the closest guys. I ran down to Selmer, Tennessee, and did the recon for them. Excuse me just a minute. All right. But yeah, I went down, did the recon for them. But yes, Grindstone is a legit outfit, and Ryan Hall is legit too. Ryan Hall does some really good stuff. I mean, he's got, I think last night I jumped on, or no, it was during the day. I was working, had my earbuds in. I was like, let's listen to Ryan Hall for just a minute. He had, in the middle of the day, had 75,000 people on his live stream watching. So, and good morning, Chuck with Homestead Medical. Hey, did y'all get any bad storms this last weekend and stuff? And then Bill Warner, the last I saw, he'd raised almost $200,000 in donations for London and Somerset. Bill, I glanced at it last night, and it was over $200,000 is what he had raised. So that is just amazing that that people are coming together and raising that kind of money. And the thing is, the bulk majority of that money is going to go to it. He's not going to be spending, hundreds of thousands of dollars on maintenance and people's salaries and all that kind of crap. But that money's going to stay right here and do it. So our shepherds, we're blessed, no damage whatsoever. Yes, praise the Father. Yes, for sure. Oh, yeah, and Ryan Hall does have a huge following. He's over 2 million subscribers on YouTube, which is just crazy. So, super awesome guy. I've got nothing but good things to say about him. Chuck, Homestead Medical, wind and some isolated flooding, nothing like Kentucky. A couple small little tornadoes. Yeah. So, all right, weather stuff. Like I said, Friday night I was in Alabama worrying about what was going on up here. So Saturday morning after the class, after Jay and I decided not to do the class, I called my wife. I was like, hey, I'm filling up the fuel and getting on the road. She tells me, she's like, we've got a tree down across the driveway. And a lot of you haven't been up here, but my driveway is essentially, we got the driveway and we got trees on each side. So yeah, we get some limbs every now and then it'll fall that I'll have to go pick up. Good morning, Greg Skeens. But yeah, we get some limbs and stuff, go pick up stuff like that. Every now and then I'll have to go get the chainsaw and cut a limb that fell. Nothing major. But she told me, she said, there's a pretty good sized tree across the driveway and I can't get out. I was like, call my brother. My brother essentially lives like 5 miles away. I said, call Brian. He'll come up there and cut it at least to where you can get in and out of the driveway. And she's like, okay, cool. So I talked to my brother. He's like, yeah. He said, I don't have power right now, and my parents don't, and mom and dad don't have power. He's like, I'm getting generators set up and going to run those. And then once I get the generator set up, I will come up and cut that tree. I was like, cool. I was like, Whitney, I said, they don't have to be anywhere this morning. Thank goodness it was Saturday morning. She didn't have to be at work. He didn't have to be at school, anything like that. So, so my brother winds up coming and cutting the tree out of the way, just gets enough stuff cleared where she can get in and out of the driveway. So I'm talking to my brother about everything. There was a tree, one of the neighbor's trees had fallen over on my parents' yard and had taken the power lines out. So mom and dad didn't have power. So my brother, luckily I talked to my brother, I think 8-9 months ago, and I'm like, hey, you need to get, some generators. So he ended up buying 2 generators several months ago and had those going and everything, made sure they were up and going. I've got generators here, but it's nice to to have more than, I've got 4 generators here. He's got 2 generators. So between the 3 houses, we've got 6 generators, which is nice to have. Good morning, Tactical Muffin Top. Glad to have you in here. Hey, did you get any crazy weather in Nebraska? So I think there was some stuff going up around Nebraska. I'm not 100% sure. But so my brother got my parents going. He got their the refrigerator and the freezers plugged in. Everything was good with that. And I'll tell you, Warren Rule Electric, which is the electric company around here, those guys are some stud muffins. I mean, they keep the power going, and most of the time people are not out of power super long. I mean, those boys were working around the clock. They had an extra contractor company come in and was working with them also. So my brother had one of his maple trees, like half of a maple tree, fall. It grazed his house, was sitting on the house just a little bit. It didn't do any damage to the roof. It ripped the gutters off the back. And my brother has service coming in, overhead service coming in. So it ripped the service lines coming in. Hold on just a second. All right. I'm getting a text from my wife. They're doing awards today and field day. It's the last day of school. So Lincoln's excited that they're only going to be there half a day, and then they're out for the summer. So he's super excited. She was texting me a few things. But yeah, so it took out overhead service. So my brother didn't have power. He got his generator hooked up while I was gone, had his refrigerator and freezer running. So everything was good with that. So anyway, and like I'd said before, Friday night, I was getting texts from all kinds of people. Are you okay? You okay? I was like, I'm in Alabama. I'm in Alabama. Everything's fine right now. And they're like, if you need something, if we need to go do something at your house, just let us know. I was like, I appreciate it. I was like, how good are y'all? I think Shelly wound up with a tree down. So a tree or 2 maybe down, nothing major, nothing happened to her house, but she had told me the power was flickering on and off and stuff like that. So let's hit these comments real quick. Bill Warner, someone asked Ryan when he sleeps. He said June and July when the weather settles down. That's funny. Tactical Muffin Top, not too bad, some hail and tornadoes. Well, I'm glad you're safe, Tactical. And then Bill Warner, Jackson Energy is like that here. I don't think we've been out with power more than an hour in 3 years or so. Yeah, I mean, Warner Electric is awesome. I mean, there's only so much you can do when you have a lot of damage and stuff. But yeah, they get the power back on pretty stinking quick, and I applaud those guys for what they've been doing. So, all right. So as far as people messaging me and stuff like that, that goes to show that you need to build your community of people. I had people that were willing to come and help me and my family if I needed something when I was out of town. And when I'm in town, I go and help those people if they need something. Just like Shelly's daughter a while back had a big tree fall on her chicken coop. Shelly texted me, and I was like, hey, we'll get some guys to come up there. And it was about a 30-minute drive to where her daughter lives. So in a matter of about 45 minutes, I was up there. About a few minutes later, some of the other guys were up there, and we had, I think, 4 or 5 people up there cutting this tree up and getting it out of the way off the chicken coop to see if all the chickens were fine and stuff like that. So that's just one of those things where it all circles back around to building your community and having a community and a group of super close people that you can call on, that they're always willing to help you and you're always willing to help them. And with the community, you can't just be a taker. You've got to give also. So give as much, if not more, than what you get out of your community. So keep building those communities, those local people. Know your neighbors. Get to know your neighbors. Jive with them if you need help. If this is a major situation, a major like grid down situation or major natural disaster, you're going to need your neighbors and you're going to need that close community to get through this thing. So do that. Start building that thing. So then Saturday, my brother had a few things to do. So when I got back, I surveyed the damage. Well, I've got one pretty big tree down over behind the shop. Luckily, it did not hit the shop. So I've got that I've got to deal with. It's not hurting anything, so I'll deal with it next week sometime. So didn't have a lot of damage here, just limbs, stuff like that. Nothing major. So Saturday, my brother had a few things to do, and I was like, I told him, I was like, I'll run down, fill up Mom's generator. His generator was fine. So Saturday night, I went and filled up Mom's generator, Mom and Dad's generator. And then I told Mom, I'm like, Sunday morning, I was like, text me or call me if it needs more fuel. I was like, go out there and look at it. So my mom texted me at like 7 o'clock in the morning. She's like, we just got power on. I'm going to turn the generator off and be fine. So I'm like, thank goodness. So I talked to my brother at like 11 o'clock Sunday, something like that. He said, hey, Warner Electric is here, or it was one of the contractors is here. They're getting everything ready to hook power up in my house. But apparently, this company that Warner Electric has does not do any kind of clearing, anything like that. So I'm like, I told the guys, I'm like, so we have to cut everything out of the way before you'll do power. And he's like, yeah, we don't do the clearing. And I'm like, great, this sucks. So we ended up, I asked my brother, I'm like, hey, are we going to cut this whole thing up and do it or what? I was like, if we're going to do that, I was like, I'm running to get in the tractor to where we can move this thing. He was like, no, he said, let's get it cut out of the way and moved off the house, and then where they can get power put back on. He's like, I'm going to call the insurance company and let the insurance company deal with it, and then let them come in. One of the tree guys is going to do the rest. I'm like, cool, let's do it. So we spent a couple hours cutting everything off the house and then cutting a path to where they could get the new electric service in there. So we did that. They hooked power up right after we did that. Everything's good to go. Everybody around here's got power, and we're fine. So everything's good to go on that. And hopefully, knock on wood, nothing bad is going to come through today. I know we're going to have weather, but hopefully no damage, anything like that. So that kind of brings me on to generators and stuff that you need for tornadoes and inclement weather and stuff like that. All right. Generators and stuff. Like I said, I've got 4 generators here. My brother's got 2. So we were covered on generators fine. One of the things, have your generator and have enough fuel for that generator to run you probably at least 2 or 3 days at a minimum is what I would recommend storing. I've got just right now probably 5 gallon cans. I've probably got 5 or 6 5-gallon cans sitting in the shop right now. We keep a 300-gallon fuel tank that we use around here. We keep it usually at least halfway full most of the time. And then I've got a 55-gallon drum that I can pump out of also. So keep that fuel there for your generator. Make sure your generator is ready to go. Don't just leave the thing sitting there. Start that thing every month. Make sure you let it run. Let it run for 15 or 20 minutes, and it's better if you let those things run with a load on them. So go ahead every month, pull that thing out, start it up, warm it up, put a good size load on that generator and let it run, 15, 20 minutes with the load on it. It's going to be a lot better for your generator. Because I know tons of people buy a generator, put the oil in it, run it, make sure it works, and they never start the thing again. And then they go out there when they've got no power and try to start it up, and the carburetor's gummed up, everything else, and they're just like, oh, great. So now, instead of having power and everything like that, they're working on a generator in a crisis situation, no power. They're doing it by a flashlight or a headlamp, probably in the pouring down rain, and just trying to get your generator going. So get those generators out, start them up, get ready to go. So Also, my mom had she bought several years ago a small solar generator. It's a small enough one that she can pack it around. She bought it, and she was using it. If she needed something somewhere in the house, she would carry her little solar generator and use it. It was funny. My brother told me, he was like, I came over to mom and dad's house, and mom had her solar generator sitting on the counter, and she was making coffee with it. So mom was like, yes. She's like, I needed coffee, and your dad needed coffee, so I was going to make coffee. So that solar generator worked out great. She was able to make coffee that morning. She used it for to plug in a lamp and stuff like that, and then she was using it to charge her cell phone. I told her, I'm like, if you want to grab the Wi-Fi router, you can run your Wi-Fi router on that and then still have internet. And she's like, I'm not going to mess with that. She's like, I'll just hotspot it off my phone and be fine. So solar generators, yes, solar generators are great. They're not going to put out as much power as a gas, diesel, or propane generator, and they're not going to last near as long. So solar generators have their place. I've got one of the Anchor Solex 3800s. It will run a full-size refrigerator for a couple days, as long as you're not opening it up all the time. So it'll keep a refrigerator going for a couple days, but eventually you're going to run out with that. The solar generators, you need a way to recharge those jokers. So all the solar generators that I've got, I've bought solar panels that match and go with those. So that's just something to think about. That Anchor Solex 3800 is good. It's a stinking beast, though. I think the thing weighs 120 or 130 pounds. So it's not one of those things you just grab and, take wherever you want to, throw it in the bed of the truck, and stuff like that. It's a chore to move that thing around. But once you've got it inside the house, you can roll it around and everything. It's got wheels and a handle and stuff like that. So you can get it around in the house real easy. Yeah, Chuck with Homestead Medical. I topped all my cans off and added some pre-G plus 20 gallons of diesel for the tractor. Start my generator at least once a month. Yeah, exactly. And I tell you what, there's not a lot of people that talk about that, but it's the PRI-G or -D. That is essentially a fuel stabilizer and a fuel refresher. It will take old fuel and refresh it to where you can use it. They've got the G, which is for the gas, and the D is for the diesel. That stuff is freaking amazing. I always treat, if I'm going to have anything setting for a while, I always treat the gas or the diesel with that and never had a problem with it. I usually buy it off Amazon. So it's super, super awesome stuff. So your generators, honestly, I prefer to have 3 different, if you got enough generators and you're going to spend some money on generators, I like to be able to run any of the 3 major fuels, which the 3 major fuels for me are gas, diesel, and propane. So I've got a diesel generator. I've got some generators that are just strictly gas, and I have one that's a dual fuel to where I can run gas or propane with it. And we're running, our heat here is propane. So I've got a 500-gallon propane tank that we can tap onto. I've got a tap on it to where I can hook the generator up and run the generator off that 500-gallon propane tank if I need to. So just look at that. When you're looking at generators, look at one of the multi-fuel ones. Those things are freaking great. And the nice thing about propane, your propane will never go bad. So as long as your tank is not leaking, the propane is going to be good from here to eternity, and it's not going to go bad. But granted, you do get less power when you're running propane as opposed to gasoline. So just being mindful of that. Some of the other stuff, extension cords in 3 ways. Your pigtails and stuff like that. A lot of people don't think about it. And a lot of people don't have a ton of extension cords at their house. With me being a contractor, I've got miles of extension cords. I mean, we needed to run some more extension cords at my mom's house. So I told my brother, I'm like, I got tons of cords. Let me load some up and I'll bring them down there. So we have plenty of cords going all different places at my mom's house. But some people don't have a lot of cords. So if you're going to buy a generator, I would advise you to buy some 100-foot cords and some 50-foot cords and a couple three-way plugs for those. Extension cords are expensive right now, especially with copper being up. Get the heaviest cords you can afford. Buy a minimum of at least a 12 gauge extension cord. I've got 10 gauge cords for a lot of mine, which that's a super heavy cord. But if you're running bigger loads and stuff like that, you need a 10 gauge cord. So just look at that. Have your extension cords, have those things ready to go and in a spot. I mean, heck, you could take those cords, roll them up and put them right on top of the generator where you store your generator at. And then you know the extension cords are right there, ready to go. Make those the generator extension cords and you don't use them for anything else. All right. Have lots of gas and fuel for your generator. And don't forget, have extra oil for your generator. You should have enough oil to at least change it one time, if not twice. So it's just added protection. The oil is not that expensive, and it doesn't take gallons and gallons of oil for these generators. So, Bill Warner, I have a large Rubbermaid tote designed for generator accessories. Accessories 3 feet from the generator. Yeah, exactly. That's what you need to do. Have all your accessories sitting right there so you can go grab your generator, go grab your accessory tub, and all your stuff right there to make power and get your house back going is set and ready to go. Like I know with mine, I've got a plug and a manual transfer switch on my house. When we built the house and wired it, we put a transfer switch outside. My generator will not run the whole house because I don't want to run everything in the whole house. There's really no need for me to do that. I'll be able to run most of the house. So what we did, I took, I think it's a 6 gauge. It's either a 4 or 6 gauge cord. I went to the electric supply house and I got 4 6 gauge cord. And I think we did 40 feet of cord. And then I've got the 50 amp plugs on there on each end. So I can essentially roll my generator up here. My service cord stays right on top of the generator, so I know exactly where that thing's at. I can roll the generator up to the house, start it up, plug it into the house, flip the transfer switch, and then boom, I've got power to a lot of the house. So, but I know where that cord's at. It's sitting right on top of that generator, easy to find. So, but yeah, have extra oil. Hey, Camo Dad, glad to have you in here this morning. How are you looking with the weather? Did nothing hit you, did it? And then, Bill, I have approximately 300 feet of extension cords and three-way pigtails and surge protectors. Exactly. That's what you need. I mean, you don't really think about it. You need a fair amount of extension cords. I mean, 300 feet when you're running to different places in your house and stuff like that, 300 foot of cord is not a whole lot. Honestly, you can eat 300 foot of cord up pretty stinking quick. And honestly, what I personally like is if you can get a 10 gauge cord, do a 10 gauge 100 foot cord, or you can do a 10 gauge 50 foot cord and run on the end of that 50 foot cord, run a 3-way with some lighter gauge cords. That way. So you could go from the 10 gauge to 12 gauge or possibly 14 gauge if you're running short distances like 25 feet. When I'm working in people's houses, I've got, most of the time we're not running super long stuff anymore if you're in somebody's bathroom or something like that. So I've got a ton of 25 foot 12 gauge cords that are great for if you're just plugging a saw up or something like that. There's no need to run, freaking 100 foot cord in somebody's house while you're doing something. Churn Dash Farm. Yes, you can never have too many extension cords. I am 100% with that. I mean, you never know what you're going to be doing. Heck, when we turn the animals out into the neighbor's field, I had a solar charger for the fence, and it just did not put enough stuff out. So I'm like, we're just going to run extension cords down there, and I'm running about 250 to 300 feet of extension cords for that when we got the animals out there. So Camo Dad, no, we're good. Hit just south of us. The wife was a little worried, headed back to work today in New York. Yeah. All right. Well, glad you're doing good. So, I mean, some of the other stuff, we'll churn through this. Some of the other stuff that you should have that some people might not think about, but hopefully if you're watching this, you're kind of prepared and stuff like that. Have your chainsaw. Have your chainsaw ready to go. Have fuel, have bar oil, have an extra chain or two, and a way to sharpen those chains. So, I mean, I've used the chainsaw. I use the chainsaw all the freaking time around here. So the chain, most of the time, is always sharp. It's always full of fuel, always full of bar oil, and ready to go. And honestly, I took one of the those rigid. It's kind of like the Milwaukee Packouts, but the ones I've got are rigid brand. I have one of the smaller rigid containers. I've got 2 extra bars for my smaller chainsaw. I've got 2 extra bars in there, 3 extra chains in there, and I've got files and extra scrunch and stuff like that I can grab the chainsaw, I can grab more bar oil, more gas, and I can grab my little rigid tote, and it's got all my accessories with it. Throw that in the truck and you're set and ready to go. Oops, good morning, buddy. Glad to have you in here. And Bill, that's just the cords and the accessory tote. The shop has another 300 foot of extension cords for everyday use. Yeah, exactly. And it is. I mean, just like Churn Dash Farms, you can never have too many extension cords. And I know a lot of people, it's like, well, I've got 100 foot extension cord. It's like, that's cute. You need 4 or 5 more. So, Camo Dad, I'm going into Lexington the other day. I had a saw. A tree came down across both lanes. Had the Jeep, but no saw. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you should keep some stuff like that. I'll tell you, if I had a good place to keep a saw in my truck, I would keep a saw in my truck all the time. But I'm bad about it that I don't keep a saw in the truck all the time. So, all right, we covered chainsaws, flashlights. Keep extra flashlights, whether it's rechargeable flashlights, regular flashlights. Keep some of those. I've actually got they're the Ozark Trail brand from Walmart. They're a rechargeable lantern that I can charge those things up ever so often, and I've got like half a dozen of those things stashed around the house. They're freaking amazing. They're little white and black ones, and they put out a heck of a lot of light and last a pretty good while. So another thing, have some backup water. I mean, if we're looking just tornado, something like that, you can get by probably with just bottled water. But I mean, it wouldn't hurt to have a 55-gallon drum or two sitting in your basement or sitting in your garage if you really needed it. Camo Dad, I'm thinking smaller battery pack saw for the vehicles. Yes, I've got, and I don't know where it is at. It's somewhere down here in the shop. I've got one of the Milwaukee hatchets. I think it's only got, man, I want to say it might be an 8-inch bar, but the last round of storms we had, I had to cut a few limbs to get out of the driveway. We were in my wife's SUV. I just grabbed that thing, cut. I mean, these limbs were maybe 2 inches, something like that. But I grabbed that little Milwaukee hatchet, threw it in the back of her car, and man, it freaking worked like a champ. And I just kept it in there because we were going into town to check out her mom's house, and it worked great. And Camo Dad, a case of water in each vehicle if traveling. Yes, I keep a case of water in my truck, and I usually keep a case of body armors. I drink these things at work. I usually keep a case of those, but I'm cycling through those things all the time, drinking them for work because I'm in and out, all that kind of stuff. But yes, have water in your vehicle for sure. And then Bill Warner, the little Ryobi 10-inch electric chainsaw is great. Yeah. I've got the Milwaukee. It's either it's the 18-volt Milwaukee full-size chainsaw that it's either a 16 or 18-inch bar. That thing, if you're just going to cut like 1 or 2 limbs, that thing is freaking awesome to use. And I tell you what, my brother has the Milwaukee pole saw. We put a 8 amp hour battery on that saw, and we were using it instead of getting in the thickest stuff, cutting the smaller limbs up. You could stand back there and not get raked across the coals and scratched up and everything. But we were coming through trimming all those small limbs, and man, that thing is a freaking beast. It was cutting like nobody's business, and we used that thing for probably 2 hours, and it ran on an 8 amp battery for about 2 hours, and I don't think he changed the batteries. So it was a freaking awesome saw. Another thing, easy to fix food items, stuff that you don't have to warm up or that will take minimal warming up, something that you can just grab and eat. So keep some easy to fix food items. Gloves and boots. I mean, most of us have gloves, most of us have work boots, but always make sure those things are where they can be. I keep in the front door of my truck, I keep 2 pair of Milwaukee cut resistant gloves. Those are typically my go-tos for working. I keep 2 pairs of those. And then in the back seat, I've got 3 or 4 more pair of those, and then a pair of the mechanics gloves. I just like the Milwaukee cut resistant gloves better than the mechanics gloves. But that's usually what I wear. I always keep an extra pair of boots in my truck. There's a pair of Danners in my truck right now. So have some good footwear, have some gloves, stuff like that. And Bill says, I have a Craftsman pole saw that works great as well. Yeah. Now, I've got a Ryobi plug-in pole saw that is pretty good, but the only bad thing is you've got to run a cord anywhere you want to take it. So I'm debating on what I want to buy. I'm a Milwaukee guy, so I've got tons of Milwaukee tools and tons of Milwaukee batteries. I'm thinking about buying a pole saw like my brother's got, because after using that thing, I was like, man, this thing's the bee's knees. So I don't know if I'm going to buy that, or if I'm going to buy a pole saw, I don't know if I'll buy the Milwaukee or if I'll just go ahead and buy an Echo gas one. I'm still debating on that. But I do know I'm going to buy my Echo saw that I've got. It's just a 16-inch bar. I want something bigger. So I'm looking in the 24-inch bar range. I'm looking at the Echo. I think the Echo Timberwolf is probably what I'm going to buy. I'm either going to buy that or the Husqvarna ranch hand with a 24-inch bar. And I know people will be like, steel. I'm not a steel guy, not a huge fan. I would rather have an Echo or Husqvarna. And I know I'm going to get some hate for that, but you're not going to change my mind. So, all right, 2 other things before we scoot off here. First aid and medical supplies. Have that stuff where you know where it's at. Have a good stock of it. And have your bag with you. Keep a vehicle medical bag in your truck. Have the first aid supplies in your truck. When we were cutting all these limbs at my brother's house, there was an IFAK sitting right there. I had a tourniquet on me, but there was also an IFAK that was sitting right on the tailgate of my truck that was, 15 feet away. If we needed something, we had an IFAK sitting there with all the equipment to treat whatever happened to us, from a boo-boo to a cut leg, anything like that. So have your first aid medical stuff right there beside you. Your first aid medical stuff does nothing. Your tourniquet does nothing for you if it's sitting inside in the shop and you're 100, 200 yards away cutting a limb. That tourniquet needs to be on your body while you're doing stuff like that. The last thing is comms gear, commo stuff. Have your radios. We could have very well had cell phone outages, stuff like that. If the cell tower gets knocked down, all your comms get knocked down. Have radio equipment and comms gear. Know how to use that stuff. Get trained with it. Know how to do all that stuff. I'm working on. I've almost got it done. I've got like it's one of the Harbor Freight kind of boxes. This one's for one of my Icon base radios, but I've got a bigger one of those Harbor Freight ones that I've got to where I can put 5 Baofeng radios in. I've got all the accessories for it, and I've got it's a small 20,000 milliamp battery pack that I can charge those radios, and I should be able to charge each of those 5 radios 2 to 3 times with that battery pack, because they're all USB-C chargeable. So get your comms gear, all that stuff. have it ready to go. Have the radios where you can pass out and be like, hey, we're going to be on this channel. This is it. I'll show you how to use it, and we can talk to each other. So have that going. And yeah, Camel Dad, shoot, move, communicate. Exactly. And Bill, that's why I have Craftsman electric power tools. I was gifted a drill and an impact tool, so I went with Craftsman to have interchangeable batteries and chargers. Exactly. When I first started in 2002, I started with Milwaukee stuff, and Milwaukee's finally evolved to the M18 stuff. That's all, as far as cordless tools, that's all I have is Milwaukee, and I've probably never changed because I've got so much Milwaukee crap. So, but guys, it is almost 9 o'clock. I have to go lay tile the rest of the day and get some stuff done on this job. I appreciate y'all being here, and I will see y'all on Friday. We will have a live Friday morning at 8 o'clock, but I appreciate it, and I will see y'all on Friday. Y'all have a good day. If you need anything, get your tickets for the festival at the website. Get any of your first aid and medical supplies there too, and I appreciate every one of you. See you.